Once upon a time, we were taught never to point a firearm at anything that we are not willing to shoot, kill, destroy. And for most of us, that goes for our testicles. Check this out. Well, that was hard to watch. What do we see? First of all, this isn't just some video I randomly found on the internet. At a recent class, a student came up to me and said, "Hey, I want to show you something." He showed me what you just saw. His father is the gentleman that owned the shop that this video took place. It was the person that did not get injured. The injured person is a police officer. That was his issued weapon, a SIG P320. I don't know which model or when it was made. It was in an inside the waistband holster in the front of his body. And what he said happened was he went to adjust the holster so he could sit on a bucket while he was going to wait for service to be rendered at this shop. As he sat down and made an adjustment to the holster, we saw the gun go off. I don't know if the gun came out of the holster. I don't know what kind of holster it was. I don't know if he touched the trigger. I don't know if the gun was modified. All I know, it was a 320 with duty rounds. I don't know what kind of ammunition it was, what brand or make, but it wasn't ball ammo. That projectile, when the gun discharged, took one of his testicles, gone forever, went into his leg and lodged somewhere in his knee. The person you see in the video that rendered aid when the video stopped went to go get the car keys to drive the victim, the injured guy, to the hospital. The video is not about SIG P320s because I don't know what or why that happened. I'm going to use a Glock here that's unloaded in a second to demonstrate a few things. But here's what I want to talk about. So we'll talk about the 320 for a bit. There is a test. It was taught to me by my lady Bennett, and the test is called the ladder test. It goes something like this. If I asked you, when's the last time you saw a ladder? You'd say, I don't know, I saw one last week, or I saw one today at work, or I'm not sure. If you think about this, going forward from this video, you're going to start seeing ladders on the sides of trucks, on the sides of buildings, in garages. You're going to see them mounted to skyscrapers. You're going to see them on water towers because now you are thinking about ladders, right? So the ladder test, sort of about top of mind. The 320 is in top of mind. And I'm not pro or anti P320. I've got a lot of time with the 365s and other double single SIGs, the older ones. And I dig those old double single SIGs, super quality guns. Let's just assume that the gun was faulty. Let's just say that the gun was faulty. Then, if that is the case, then we must understand as an armed person that the holster and its position is orienting the gun towards our body. Thus, the person must be willing to take the risk, cleared out pistol, of orienting it towards their testicles, their leg, etc. Now, some of you are going to say this is a stupid argument. We've heard this, either do it or don't. There are some guys I see in the comments that will never carry in the appendix position. Cool, man, that's your choice. I think if you're the guy that's going to do it, you should be very much understanding of what's at stake. And the lost testicle is one of those things. You can easily shoot yourself in your legs. You can easily take out a femoral artery. And I'm going to tell you one more story in this video about something like that that happened. If it's the gun's fault, well, then that's a real big deal. But what if it's not the gun's fault? What if, I'm going to cycle this action, what if as the gun was in the holster, something like that happened? And that happens a lot. Something or someone actuates the gun, or a modified firearm with an improper holster. This is a high quality Glock that's been beefed up a little bit by my friends at Boresight Solutions. It's got Tango Down parts on it, Apex Tactical parts on it, Ameriglow parts, all primo stuff put together by some people that are expert gunsmiths. This holster is made by Dark Star Gear. Tom Kelly. Tom makes a really great holster. You'll notice it completely covers the trigger guard. Nothing can get in there. Nothing can fall in there. It's tight. Look, no wiggle. No wiggle. There's no slop. Nothing can get in there. It's a good grade of material. There's some cheap holsters I see people get off Amazon. The Kydex is so thin I can crush it. If you're going to carry a gun, point it at your penis or your testicles. You had better be certain that the holstering process and the whole system as a whole is not going to blow your nuts off. One thing that I think we're not understanding about certain firearms, so my friend Ernest Langdon Tactical Technologies, he and Amy make great products. Ernest has a hard time with certain, this is conversations we've had in person, with certain guns pointed in certain positions when carried on the body. As such, he loves the double singles. The hammer is carried forward. The gun is very safe from the perspective that it's not going to go off. The reason that I prefer the Glock versus, I don't know, some of the more sexed up new striker-fired guns is some of those new striker-fired guns have stored energy in the striker. When I pull the trigger on this Glock pistol, that trigger bar is cocking and firing the striker. It's not just releasing the sear. So that stored energy is not there. There are also several safety mechanisms in these firearms, and this isn't a pro Glock video. It's a understand. Let me finish that point. There are several safety mechanisms which other guns have copied from Gaston Glock's design that do a really good job of keeping that striker from impacting the primer. There are other guns out there that have good features. So first thing, if I'm going to ever have a firearm oriented towards something I don't want a hole in, I had better have a firearm that I have 100% trust in. That's one. What else matters? Ammunition. I mean, you're trusting in this, for the most part, is not a huge issue, but you're trusting the ammunition to be stable. Second story. Chicago, Illinois, a guy that's a well-respected firearms trainer, and I've told this video before. One of these days, he's going to come on the podcast and tell the story in person. Here's a bump in the night. He goes to inspect out by his garage. I don't know if he thinks somebody's breaking in. I don't remember that detail. But this detail that's coming up, I remember. As he goes out to inspect this sound and find out what's going on, he has his pistol. It's late at night. His neighbor also hears this ruckus and calls 911. Chicago police dispatch a car to the scene. He finds that there's nothing, there's no problem, and he reholsters. Upon reholstering, the last thing he knows is that he hears a loud noise and wakes up in the hospital. He shot himself in the femoral artery reholstering his Glock. I believe it was a Glock 19. A duty round, some type of hollow point, probably something high quality, knowing the guy, did what it was designed to do, discharged and took a huge chunk of meat out of his right leg. That police officer that was dispatched heard the gunshot, was trained to stop the bleed, had a tourniquet, and within moments, possibly even seconds, got this guy tourniqueted up. His blood pressure dropped so quickly that he has no recollection of this. His blood pressure dropped so quickly that without that immediate aid, he would have surely bled to death. The photograph that I will not share here because YouTube will pull this video down looks like somebody took an axe and just chopped a huge chunk. I mean, like a half of a football because of the way that round hit his femur and blew apart. It took out a huge section of his leg, and today a massive amount of his quadricep muscle is gone. They had to remove it for surgery, so his right leg is a much thinner leg than his left leg. Now we could say it was the gun, it was the holster, it was the carry position, it was all those things. The gun worked as designed, and the holstering process in that situation allowed that to go off. Now here's a way that I like to think about is all of us, I'm guessing, that are watching this type of video have driven a car, climbed a ladder, used a kitchen knife, dealt with fire, hot water, something that could hurt us or somebody else, right? And we've all had an accident. Most of us have cut ourselves in the kitchen. Most of us have maybe had a tiny fender bender. Hopefully not, but some of us have had really bad car wrecks. Knock on wood, I never have. I've had some little tiny fender benders, right? Those are accidents. If you're a pilot or a parachutist or a tower climber like my brother Tommy was, or a carpenter or iron worker or an electrician that deals with vast amounts of electricity and power, or a heavy equipment operator, or something like this, or a doctor, where the littlest slip can mean life and death, certain accidents are not allowed. We have to develop a system that is robust, repeatable, and reliable. Robust enough that no matter what, it's going to get the job done. Repeatable, I can do it every time, every time, every time. And reliable, I can rely on it to give me the result that I want. In this case, it's getting that gun in and out of a holster without it discharging. These stories come up a lot. I like to talk about them when they do because I believe this kind of stuff needs to be top of mind. We never should have complacency with something that can kill us or somebody else. That dude lost his testicle. He's going to have some leg injury. And losing your testicle is no joke. Your testicles, men, I'm not a doctor, I am an EMT, but you can go talk to your doc, make the testosterone that gives us muscles, that makes our body work, that helps us heal and grow. He's 50% diminished on his testosterone production. That's a big deal. I think that we need to take this stuff seriously. I think too often in this space, we're into the fun, we're into the games, we're into the jokes, we're into the gossip. And sometimes we think we're too good or too practiced or too skilled that I don't need to worry about some of these things that these other idiots do. Don't worry about it. Get a plan, train a system, define that system, hone that system, and then live by it. Live by it. If you are going to practice a martial craft with weapons that are used to extend our righteous will farther away from us so that we can stop violence against ourselves or others that we are sworn to protect or choose to protect, then have a code of conduct that includes safety, that includes being responsible for those around us, because that pistol discharging could have hurt people. That building had compressed gases in it, some of which were flammable. Think about that. In addition to this code of how we handle firearms and treat firearms, we have to be connected to a code of how we interact with the world. Can we walk away from violence? Can we stop ourselves from escalating violence? Can we stop ourselves from engaging with people that are trying to goad us into violence, allowing ego to drive them? This is not the same as dealing with predatory violence in the immediacy. If somebody's trying to hurt you or yours, and there is a need to immediately intervene, by all means, act quickly, initiate your training, get the job done, stop the violence, and then remove yourself to a safe situation, contact law enforcement, 911, etc. Get help, render aid as you are trained and see fit. But do have a code. Our right with the Second Amendment is attached to this concept of being well-regulated. Well-regulated in the context of that day. This isn't Mickey's opinion, this is scholarly, from people way more knowledgeable and trained than I, means well-trained. It means ready, capable, disciplined. Having a holstering process that does not have you shooting yourself, having gear that you have vetted and researched that will not shoot you, having gear that stands up to the rigors of daily life, having gear that is designed with good safety mechanisms, having gear that is built by professionals to do the job is part of being well regulated. Be well. Don't be dickheads. Tell somebody you love them. I love you. I love chatting with you guys. I hope that you guys dig these videos. Let's hear it in the comment section, the kind of stuff you want to talk about. I'd love to make videos that you guys want to talk about, not just stuff I want to talk about. And you know what else I'd love? I'd love to see you on the range. We've got classes coming up in Washington, Michigan, Tennessee, Las Vegas, Chicago, Orlando, and a few other places in between. And please do check out Gunfighter Gun Oil. We make it in the USA for you guys. Top quality stuff to keep your guns lubed up. It will never degrade in your safe, and it is safe for you, non-toxic stuff. And then please do check out Ignis Lux Coffee. Ignis Lux is Latin for firelight. Lux, if you see that in Latin, means light. Firelight. Why do we choose that name? Because it denotes this fire that burns in our guts. It denotes the flames of liberty that were lit like firestorms across the East when our founding fathers said enough is enough. It's time to live free. That's why we chose that name. We roast that stuff a few days a month and ship it out fresh to you guys. So every batch is only just a week or so off of the roaster. Instead of that crap you buy in the store that could be 6 months or a year. Nasty. Check it out. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.